Mauricio, it is so great to have you back at HAR. I remember the last time you were here, you and I were sitting on the stage having the time of our life. Now we got Zoom, so I guess that'll be about as good as it's going to get.
I wish I was on stage with you, Bob. I mean,
Yeah.
that's such a good time, and it is what it is. This is it.
Well, thanks for being with us today. I remember at the age of 6, you and your mom and dad moved from Mexico City to LA. And you told me your name, Mauricio, is derived from your Greek and Russian heritage. Tell us a little bit about your early years in your family, if you would.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was, my gosh, I was born in Mexico City. We're generation 2 Mexican. I love Mexico. I was born, unfortunately, with a blood disease that was incurable called neutropenia. And I was one of the lucky guys that just got cured of it. Nowadays, they have some drugs that you can actually live longer with it, but they still don't have a cure for it. But I was one of those lucky guys. Moved to Los Angeles, moved to Bel Air, grew up here, went to some great schools, and loved LA, was just part of LA all my life. And, still in LA, but now expanding everywhere. I'm excited to go, across the country and into the globe.
And you got into real estate. You've been ranked by the Wall Street Journal as the #3 realtor in the country, the #1 in California, and you've been involved in $4 billion in sales volume. Tell us how the Ritz-Carlton played a role in the founding or the opening of the agency, and why you started the agency.
Well, it was such an important role, honestly. Billy, my co-founder, and I, whenever you have a business and you're preparing for a business, you have go, no-go decisions, right? You have these things that occur, and, you say, okay, I like this. You do your pro formas. I like that. You do this. I like that. And you constantly have go, no-go decisions. And when we got down to the Ritz-Carlton, we had kind of the final go, no-go decision. It was time, to make that decision. And we decided to present. We were both in our individual brokerages. And guys, you shouldn't do this, but we decided to present a proposal for getting the mandate to sell the Ritz-Carlton under the agency, an entity that didn't exist yet, right? And we told them we didn't exist yet, but we showed them our business plan. We told them what we wanted to do, how we wanted to change real estate, how we wanted to change the way you sell marketing. Today, everybody, quite honestly, the way we change the way you sell marketing is the way that we said that we wanted to change the way you sell homes through marketing is the way that all companies are doing it today, right? It's no longer selling 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, granite countertops, and meal appliances, but it's selling the lifestyle around wherever it is somebody's going to live, right? And so we had this idea to do that. We had an idea how to be proactive, to go search for clients. And we presented this. We presented it on a business plan. And I remember walking in to the office, and, the AEG, Schultz Entertainment Group, the owners of the Ritz-Carlton, the owners of the LA Kings, and we sat in a big, huge ballroom, and it was them and it was us. And they showed us, presentations that were like this, right? And then it was our little presentation, that, looked like this, right? And they're like, on paper, you guys don't look so good, but our gut tells us you're going to do a good job and we're going to go with you. So when do you open the agency? It was a Friday. And Billy and I looked at each other and we're like, Tuesday. Monday was a Labor Day. So we just a couple of weeks ago, we turned 9 years old. We're now entering our 10th year. And here we go, man.
So that was a force opening and you did great. Now, I want to ask you about this picture of you and your beautiful family. Where were you? And I'm sure you're on a vacation because you're dressed very cool with the ocean behind you. Well, tell us about that.
Yeah, so that photograph is, every summer, my family and I, up until this summer, we've been vacationing in Europe. We love to rent boats, and we love to go around the Mediterranean. So that was I believe that photograph was in the port of Saint-Tropez. And it's just a beautiful place on earth. And the reason I like that is because, whenever I take my family anywhere else, New York, anywhere, right? My kids, they're older. They always have something to do. They always have a friend. They have something to do. They have something going on. And so the vacation on the boat, which they love, we're all locked into one, one space, and nobody has anywhere to go. And
you can't go anywhere.
The
Right.
storytelling is amazing. Everybody is, fear of missing out. There's nothing of that going on, and it's literally the best family vacation. I highly recommend.
Well, I'll tell you, you're you're a very cool guy married to a very cool lady, Kyle Richards, the star of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
And
How does the
very pretty.
fact that you're both celebrities affect your lives and your careers?
So it affects a lot, Bob. It's very difficult to live under a microscope in today's age. With the Instagrams and the social media and
Right.
everybody watching, and everybody having a camera, on right here, and there's a lot of judging, and people judge, without knowing and without knowledge, and they just have an opportunity to make judgments, just because you're on social media. There's no face to it. There's nobody, right? So it's a bit difficult on that side. I think there's no question that the show and the celebrity status has definitely helped, increase the awareness of the agency.
Now, I know that one question everybody's wondering about is how do you decide which agents to ask to join and which agents you ask to leave the agency?
Well, we have, to join, we have a culture. We have a culture of collaboration. We have a culture of, wanting to have fun, working hard, great business ethics, luxury real estate, high customer service, all of those things, right? You can be a rookie and still have those attributes and those characteristics. You could be an amazing agent and have those characteristics. We don't hire just based on your volume and how much you sell. We hire based on your culture. Do you fit the family? One of the most beautiful things about the agency is that we are all one big family, and we all talk about that. And if you don't fit in it, you don't fit in it. How do we decide if we ask somebody to leave? It's quite simple. We have one rule. Well, we have a lot of rules, but we have our
number one rule is
our number one rule, and that's no assholes, man.
right.
And,
No assholes.
it's a good rule. It works. Sometimes there's people that sell a lot of real estate, but they're an asshole. It doesn't do it any good. It's not good for the company. It's not good for the big picture. So
Yeah.
that's how it rolls sometimes.
Yeah, I remember you said your number one rule is no assholes. Your number two rule is you got to have fun.
That's it, man. I
Yeah,
mean, that's a pretty easy, simplistic way to get everything going,
Tell us about listing and selling the iconic Playboy Mansion for $100 million, which I understand was the first $100 million home sold in LA.
Yeah, Bob, we actually listed that property for $200 million. And we never expected to get 200. It wasn't one of these things that the idea was that it was worth 200. It was really just about, it's an iconic offering, one of a kind offering, a unique offering. And we were just letting people know it was for sale. And, Mr. Consumer, Mr. Buyer, you tell us what it's worth, right? Like we didn't want to figure out what that number was, right? And I got to tell you, it was just such an amazing experience. I think the saddest day of my life was the day I actually closed escrow on that property, because going there and touring people and watching, the access of the people that wanted to tour the property was an extraordinary experience. But B, touring the Playboy Mansion and knowing that it may not come on the market again for, because this is something you hold forever. It may not come on the market again for who knows how long. And it's certainly never going to come back on the market being owned by Hugh Hefner, right? So being able to tour it and being able to be a part of that history and to walk it and to show it and all of that stuff was just extraordinary. It was so much fun. And like I said, I mean, obviously there was a reward to closing escrow and being the first sale at $100 million, but that was a sad day to me. It was a lot more fun to be there. I got to be honest with you. So,
well, speaking of Hugh Hefner, for example, you've had clients like Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson and Prince and Lady Gaga and Kim Kardashian and Sofia Vergara and Madonna and on and on and on. What's it like to work with the rich and famous on a daily basis?
Bob, it's so much fun. The one of the things that I enjoyed the most is being able to spend time with these people. And by the way, being able to spend time with these people when they're making a purchase that's very personal, right? Because this isn't a business decision. This isn't about what are we going to do a movie? Are we not going to do a movie? Are we going to, buy, Amazon or sell Amazon or buy whatever, right? This is a moment in everybody's life where everybody becomes very human and becomes very real when you're selling these people a home. So it's a lot of fun. the stories that I get to hear. I mean, I was just the other day I went down to San Diego to look at a property, and it was part of the Rat Pack, the original Rat Pack. And the stories I was hearing, and the photographs of Frank Sinatra and Jr. and the memorabilia that was in there was absolutely amazing, and so, a meeting that should take 30 minutes, I love to hear stories. I love to tell stories. So, that listing appointment that was supposed to take 30 minutes from, the wealthiest people in the world, from all of these things. And again, when you can sit down with them in an environment that is very personal, you get to listen to different stories and learn from them. So it's an access issue, right? And that access is kind of fun.
Well, moving right along, you do open houses a little bit different than most realtors.
This is so exciting. The reason we throw events like this is because we like to bring energy to communities. It's so much fun. It's so much fun to bring a party, bring energy, bring love, collaboration. It's just the way to do it. And you know what happens is you exhibit the house, you have opportunities to sell the house, and then what you do is you build communities, you build friends, you build everything, and that's really what it's all about.
So I know
we changed the way you sell real estate, man. I mean, that's for sure.
Now, we know you have amazing listings. So tell us a little bit about the Beverly House.
That's an extraordinary property. It's iconic. It's historical. It's not historical in the way it's historical designation, but it's an iconic property in Los Angeles. I've always said there's a handful of properties in Los Angeles. Let's just call it the top 5. The Beverly House is going to be on everybody's list of that top 5.
It's a $125 million listing.
$125 million. It's on the market for, but it's been it was built by William Randolph Hearst.
Wow.
It was Mary Pickfair, lived in that property. Jackie Kennedy and John Kennedy and Jackie Onassis honeymooned there. There's photos of them honeymooning there. There's been movies filmed there, like the famous Godfather, The Godfather with the horse, in the bed. That scene was filmed there. The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner was filmed there. Fletch, if you remember Fletch with Chevy Chase.
Right.
I mean, it goes on and on. Most recently, Black is King, the Beyonce video was filmed there. That just came out and it was amazing. So this is just one of these properties. It's just extraordinary. It has beautiful, beautiful features. But one of the features that I like, tying it back to the Playboy feature, Bob, is the Hugh Hefner back in the 70s used to own a 70s and 80s and all that. The hottest club in Los Angeles was called Touch. And it was owned by Hugh Hefner. It's where all the rich and famous went, all the celebrities went to go party. And the owner of my house bought that club and disassembled it and rebuilt it at the Beverly House. So today, if you go to the Beverly House, you're partying at Hugh Hefner's Touch.
Wow. Wow. What about the Orem House?
Well, the Orem House is amazing. That's just an architectural masterpiece. It's on the market for $56 million. Zoltan Poly Design. The developer is an amazing woman developer, which I love, and her passion is just extraordinary. I have four girls and a wife, so when I see a woman developer, in a man's world, in a man's real estate world, I want to be clear, but when I see somebody like that create something like what has been created, and by the way, only a woman can create what she created. This house is one of the most masterfully designed, architecturally significant homes I've ever had the pleasure of representing. Wow. Helicopter, kind of feel. They call it the Color House. It's just awesome. Can't wait to, you guys are seeing the photographs, but.
Well, let me ask you, what's the number one thing someone needs to really make it in real estate?
Well, I think there's a lot of things. It's drive, it's self-motivation, a company that helps you structure. There's 31 flavors in an ice cream store, and not every flavor is the right one for everybody, right? So there has to be multiple decisions. There's not one company is not for all, and not all are for one company, right? I think it's you gotta be able to mold. You gotta be able to find somewhere where you can jive, collaborate, but have knowledge, have motivation. be motivated. You got to be self-motivated. I think one of the things that everybody is is really looking for right now as agents today, being very specific to what we're dealing with the stay-at-home and the pandemic and the Zoom thing, is structure. One of my agents, John Grauman, and I were talking about that yesterday in Napa when we went to go close on the most expensive sale in Napa Valley. We're closing on it next week. We went to go do a final walkthrough and we checked it out. But we were talking about that, and we just feel that people really need structure, right? So whether you need structure through the company, your brokerage is creating it, whether it's a team within the brokerage that's creating the structure. But I think agents are really longing that, the collaborative nature. You're not going into to offices today and having meetings, right? We're all sitting here having meetings on Zoom sessions.
Right.
And as great as we can do that, it's not the same. Right? You try to make it great. You try to make it good. I mean, what you're doing right now, Bob, for everybody in Houston is amazing.
I know you and Kyle are big givers back to the community. What's your favorite charity?
Meaning Kyle and I, the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles is our primary charity where we give the most to. I think last year we raised, or we gave, whatever, I don't know how you say that, but over $200,000 to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. As a company, we sell homes, and so we decided to partner up with Give Back Homes, which does a lot of work through Habitat for Humanity. And what we do is, as a company, we give back to through there. And I think in 2019, I'd have to double check. I got a little caught on here, but I think we built somewhere around 25 homes.
Wow, right.
through our giving. So
right.
It's just an amazing thing. Today, actually, right now, as you speak, our company as a culture loves to give. And today, what they're doing right now is there's a whole bunch of our agents that went up to the downtown Los Angeles and are propelling off of the Hilton Hotel from the roof. We've raised money to do that for the homeless, for the Union Rescue Homeless, and they're literally propelling off the roof and going on the windows and going down. I didn't have the guts to do that, so I'm enjoying this thing. Yeah, that's what they're all doing right now as we speak.
Wow. Thinking back, I remember one Saturday afternoon getting a call from Brad Inman, and he said, Bob, I just rode my bike over to Beverly Hills, and I met this amazing guy named Mauricio Umansky. And he introduced you and I, and here we are today. And Brad has done so much for this industry. You've known him a long time. I've known him a long time. He's a swell guy.
I love Brad. He's just an amazing human being. He really cares about our industry. I think he's been a pivotal and very important person in our industry to bring the industry together. I see you always at all of his, the Inman Connects, right? And we always see each other and we always talk and we always see the same people. And there's a great opportunity to further collaborate, not only within your own company or within your own agency, but, amongst all of us, right?
Sure.
And I just think what he's done for the brokerage, for the real estate is invaluable.
Yeah. Well, last time we were together in Houston, I remember you flew out of here, you flew to Washington, D.C. to have lunch at the White House the next day, but you forgot your dress shoes and your socks. But I'll tell you what, you look fantastic lounging in the White House Red Room in this picture, wearing your sneakers and your new socks you bought at the airport. And I'll tell you what, only you, Mauricio Umansky, could pull that off. I just want to tell you, what an amazing time being with you. And thank you for sharing your incredible experiences with HAR. Next time, we're going to be together when we do this.
I really hope so. From your mouth to God's ears, and may we be together. I look forward to seeing you soon and giving you a big hug, my friend.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.